The economy is so messed up that you need to earn $93,290 per year to live comfortably in Florida. Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by Go Banking Rates and written by David Nadell titled, "Here's the Living Wage a Single Person Needs to Live Comfortably in Florida." The author of this article referenced the Missouri Economic Research Information Center, who revealed that Florida ranks 29th in cost of living. When I read that, I thought to myself, it must be fairly affordable to live in Florida because 29th out of 50 isn't so bad. Well, I kept reading, and the author referenced MIT living wage calculations based on the hourly wage that an individual needs to earn to support him or herself full-time. The living wage estimate for a single person with no children living in Florida is $22.43 per hour. The poverty wage is $7.24 per hour, and Florida's minimum wage is $12 per hour. The author went on to say a single person in Florida needs to make an annual income of $46,645 before taxes to cover necessities like groceries, a rental, health care, and transportation. This is according to MIT calculations. Did you notice the author said this is how much is needed to cover a rental? The author didn't say that's what is needed to buy a house. I think it would be very difficult for people to buy a house in Florida in some areas on that salary, given what is going on in the housing market these days, especially given the high cost of property insurance in many areas of Florida. Now, here is the most interesting part of this article. The author said to live comfortably with extra money available for discretionary spending and saving, you'll have to double the amount to $93,290 per year. Here are my thoughts. Would you actually be living comfortably in some areas of Florida on $93,290? The key word is comfortably. I think you could survive and, on good months, have enough money left over to do some fun things in life and maybe save a little, but I think it all depends on how you define comfortably. In 2024, if you are under 50 years old, you can put $23,000 into your 401k pre-tax and $7,000 into a Roth IRA. If someone is earning $93,290 per year and maxing out both to stand a chance at retiring with financial security, this person is only going to be left with $63,290 to live on. Deduct taxes and whatever your company removes for health care, and you aren't left with as much money to live on. I question if you can really live comfortably on that amount of money in some areas of Florida. Even studio apartments in some areas are renting for $2,000 per month, and that usually does not include utilities. Let's say your rent and utilities together are $2,300 per month. That's $27,600 per year. Subtract that from your net income that is left after taxes and health care, and you don't have much money left over for car expenses, groceries, medical, and a cell phone. You might be able to go out to eat a couple times per month or go to the movies as long as you did not have a big car expense or some type of medical expense. I think your budget is still going to be really tight, and I don't think you'll be living comfortably. You'll probably be stressing out regularly about how to cover all of your bills when you encounter surprises that you weren't planning for. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't live in Florida. Maybe there is some inexpensive town that I don't know about where rent is cheap, groceries are affordable, and local mechanics give you a break on car maintenance. If you know about that place, tell me about it in the comments section below. I'd really love to hear about it. I want you to reflect for a moment on what I said earlier about Florida ranking 29th in terms of cost of living. Imagine how tight some people's budgets must be in the other 21 states that rank higher on the list than Florida. In my opinion, this is America in 2024, the land of the free and the home of the heavily indebted who are trying their best to survive, often relying on various forms of credit to do so. Maybe some people who are priced out of living in Florida should consider looking into a new tiny house community in Texas. I read an article today on Yahoo Finance put out by Benzinga and written by Eric McConnell titled, Could Lennar Homes' tiny house community in San Antonio be the answer to America's affordable housing crisis? According to the author, Lennar Corp. Is selling homes at Elm Trails, a community of tiny homes in San Antonio, Texas, with prices starting at $150,900. There is only one floor plan, which is a split-level house called the Henley, with a designated parking space. The homes are 660 square feet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is interesting. It's hard to find a brand new home in America for $150,900 in 2024. In some locations, you can buy a pre-owned home for less than that, but you may have old wiring, old plumbing, floors that are not level, and a host of other problems. I am really surprised that Lennar is building homes in this price range. I wonder what their profit margin is on a home like this compared to their larger models. I am also surprised that the city allowed such a small home to be built. A lot of cities have building codes that require a minimum square footage, and it is often double the size of these tiny homes. When I read this article, I had to wonder what the neighborhood is going to look like due to parking. I've driven through some cookie-cutter neighborhoods that were built approximately 20 years ago, right before the great financial crisis, and I've always been shocked by how garages are stuffed full of personal property and the driveways and streets are packed with cars. Sometimes it's even hard to get down the street because so many cars are parked on both sides of the road. I think multiple families must be living in some of these homes. I've also been surprised to see how homeowners are not maintaining these homes. Many have torn screens flapping in the wind, mold growing on the siding, trim that hasn't been painted, and shingles that are missing on the roof. Some of these neighborhoods look like modern-day trailer parks in disrepair. I have to wonder if some of these tiny home communities may suffer a similar fate in the future. Note, I said some of these tiny home communities. I hope Lennar has more success with what they are building. Maybe a Lennar community like this will be coming to an area near you in the future. I read some of the comments beneath this article. One of the commenters said, "Unacceptably high price for the size of the home and patch of grass. $150,000 should buy you a 1,200 square foot house with basement and a 500 square foot attached garage on half-acre deeded land. That is what I would call affordable housing. $150,000 for a shed I can buy at Home Cheapo for $4,000 installed is BS." The next commenter said, "I'll stick to my van down by the river." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, $160,000 for a shack. Can just easily live in a tent for less than $1,000. Well, my friends, it doesn't sound as though people are too enthusiastic about Lennar's new community. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Even if people don't like them, tiny homes may need to be the future here in America for some people if the inflation situation in America does not improve. Did you see what happened today in the market after the March inflation data was released? The Dow sank while the 10-year increased. Mortgage rates were up today as the 10-year surpassed 4.5%. It will be really interesting to see if the Fed really moves forward with their 3 rate cuts this year. The Fed is nowhere close to their 2% inflation target. I think they need to be very careful moving forward. I really don't think they should be talking about cutting rates. I think they should be hiking rates. That might result in more pain in the banking sector, and it might result in asset prices coming back to earth. But if the Fed really wants to hit their 2% inflation target, things may need to get a little messy for a while. What do you think about all this? Would you feel the pain if the Fed increased rates further, or would you be happy to see saving rates continue to increase? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.